Hi, my name is Madison Hartley, and one thing I find really cool is how human beings are continually providing habitats and providing protection for wildlife and keeping them safe. But one thing that's not addressed very often is keeping exotic animals as pets. Most people don't know, but most exotic pets aren't actually in zoos. They are just with ordinary Americans. According to Born Free USA, there are 5,000 tigers being kept by people in America. This can cause a wide variety of issues. Today, I will inform you about the dangers of keeping exotic animals as pets and include environmental impacts caused by keeping exotics. The biggest issue people run into when keeping exotic pets is providing a habitat that is large enough for them. I think most of us have watched National Geographic, or when you were little, just had pets or learned about different animals, and most of you guys know that they require a large amount of space. And that's just not something that's able to be replicated by people. And even if you were able to give them the space that they needed, you still have to provide enrichment activities. There's mating, there's so many things that go into it. So the average American cannot provide what an exotic animal needs. In the article, Why People Should Not Be Allowed to Keep Exotic Animals as Pets, it stated that the average annual cost to keep an animal like a tiger is $6,000. And I think most of us can say we don't have $6,000 to look after an animal. And because of this, most of them get mistreated. So a lot of them end up caged, or they end up chained. A lot of the tigers end up declawed. And most of them end up with malnutrition because they don't get fed properly because, again, that's a lot of money that goes into feeding them. According to the ASPCA, most exotic animals can carry certain pathogens and zoonotic diseases. A lot of these diseases and pathogens are extremely dangerous to humans and can also be fatal. These viruses can include herpes B virus, salmonella, and the hantavirus. Born Free USA states 80 to 90% of mac monkeys have herpes B or simian B, and these can be fatal to humans. Also, 90% of all reptiles carry salmonella in their feces. The CDC has estimated 93,000 salmonella cases are caused by reptile exposure. Getting the animals, so another really big issue is how people get these animals. Most of them are bought from the exotic pet trade, which is usually online. And they usually get these animals from either the wild, that's the most common, or their backyard breeders. But overall, all the scenarios are really, really bad. Also, when people purchase these animals, the sellers won't tell the buyers everything that the animal needs. It's just a fast way for them to make cash, so they don't really care about the well-being of the animals, and people just get it for, oh, this will be fine, but in actuality, there's so much more that goes into it. Another huge thing is the environmental impacts that can cause a serious issue. The environmental issues can cause permanent damages to the environment. A lot of this can be caused when the animals are captured. This causes a decrease in the population, which then affects other species. Another issue is when people get these exotic animals, a lot of the times they don't want them anymore and they decide to just release them back into the wild and they'll be fine. But a lot of the times what happens is they become invasive species, and so the non-invasive species, or the species that are there, get overturned and get completely wiped out due to these species. Lastly, everything listed above is a serious reason to not keep exotic animals as pets. To reiterate what was mentioned above, is that Americans cannot provide care needed. There can also be a lot of harm physically and mentally with keeping exotic animals, and there can be serious environmental issues. Between exotic animal pet trade, human health risk, and public safety risk, people should not keep exotic animals as